Hi everyone, welcome to the next declutter video, and this time we're going to look at my concealer collection. So this will be a little different because it's not colored makeup like my other videos have been. And on that note, if you want to binge watch the other declutter videos in this series to keep you company and entertained during isolation, I will link that in the upper right hand corner for you to check out. So this is going to be all different kinds of concealers. I didn't limit it to a specific type. So you have liquid, you have more cream, all those kinds of things. So if this decluttering type of video is of any interest to you, then make sure you keep watching. Please subscribe to the channel by hitting that red subscribe button. Go follow Allure Beauty on Instagram because I am going to run some giveaways on this channel and over exclusively on Instagram. There's also a Facebook page if you want to follow that. And of course, check out any of the other videos on this channel if they are of interest to you. All right, so the first step is to give you my disclaimers. This is my personal use collection, meaning you may have seen things in videos where you don't see them here because for whatever reason I've already gotten rid of them or given them away. That probably doesn't apply that much to concealers actually. So my other disclaimer is that just because I keep something or give it away does not mean that's the right or wrong way to do it. That's just my personal decision. And when I say I'm going to get rid of something, my first priority is to be able to pass it along to someone who can use it, like friends or family. If it is new, unused, unopened, then I can also contribute it to a women's shelter or other organization. And then the last step is to, or option is to clean the packaging out if it's plastic and be able to recycle it. Obviously with pencils like this, you can't really recycle the pencil portion. So if for some reason I have to discard that, then those might have to actually go in the trash. You know what? As I was filming this intro, I thought to myself, this can't be all of them. I know I have some more somewhere else. So I went back into my makeup closet, it's literally a closet, and realized that I have these other kinds of concealers too. So we're gonna dump these out and then I'm gonna count how many we are starting with to see what kind of progress we make by the end of the video after I declutter. Okay, so I've got 50 plus 24. So what is that? 74 total that we are starting with. Now, the first thing I do to kind of make things easier is I'll take a look visually at what I have, and then I will, if I see anything that I know right away that I want to keep or that I am not interested in keeping, then we can just take that out of the rest of the grouping that I will have to actually go through one by one. So for now, these are loose powder concealers that are, I think all of them, mostly are from not Bare Minerals, what's the company called? Everyday Minerals. Some of them are from Youngblood Cosmetics, but most of them are from Everyday Minerals. I'm gonna put this aside just for now. So the rest here, first and easiest ones to decide on are things that are new and unopened. And this may come as a surprise to you, but I have 3 different shape tapes, and they're in 3 different shades: fair neutral, light neutral, and rich. And I have never opened these. I bought them while they were having a sale on them because they oftentimes do not have a sale. And this rich color I chose for contouring purposes, but we'll keep this in this video. So obviously I've never used these. They're new and unopened, and I do want to use them eventually, so I'm going to keep those. This is, there's actually 2 of them from Kaja Beauty. This more salmon pinky toned one is 01. And I don't know, oh, it's the Catnap concealer, and this pinky tone really helps to color correct the dark circles. I really like both of these. This other just more skin toned looking shade is from their Don't Settle concealer line, and this is the shade 04 that I have. It looks like Waffles is the shade name, so I'm definitely going to keep these 2. These are from IT Cosmetics, the Bye Bye Under Eye Full Coverage Anti-Aging Waterproof Concealers. I have 2 shades, 14 and 12. What's interesting about the IT Cosmetics shade range is that the numbers, a lot of times it's hard to tell based on the numbers what the shade actually is, because sand, which is 12, or light sand, which is 12, is actually deeper in color than 14, which is light tan. Both of these are warm toned. So anyway, just a note of caution, you probably want to go in store to see what the actual colors are. This is one of my all-time favorite concealer formulas, particularly for underneath the eyes. Very full coverage, very creamy, on the thicker side, but quite moisturizing. Really does not make the under eyes look creepy or dried out, which is a problem I often have. So absolutely keeping these two. My Becca concealer, I think I actually, oh yes, I have a new one of this too, a backup. This is the Under Eye Brightening Corrector. It comes in a glass pot, and again, it's this pinky tone. A lot of people don't like this, I think because people don't realize that you need the slightest, like the smallest amount, and then you should spread it out really thinly. But if you do that, it looks really beautiful underneath the eyes, and it does have this brightening, not shimmery, but kind of luminizing quality to it. So I love these, keeping both of them. Something I know I am not interested in keeping anymore, I've had for a very long time. This is by The Body Shop. This is their Tea Tree Oil Cover Stick. Mine was in the shade 02. You can see that I've used a lot of it up, but you know, it's a stick concealer, and it does smell slightly of tea tree, but surprisingly for a stick concealer, it doesn't have an incredible amount of staying power. So I'm ready to move on from this. Another stick form concealer slash corrector is from Benefit, the Your Bluffing. This is a yellow toned concealer. And you can use this to correct things like redness. And I just don't use it. And I frankly feel like a lot of these kinds of things in stick form, you would think that they would stick better on the skin because they're not as thin or liquidy, and that they wouldn't move around. But in fact, I find that I have a hard time getting these kinds of products to stay on the skin. So I'm ready to pass this along or get rid of it. This is a brightening product slash very slight concealing effect. This is from Maybelline. This is their Dream Lumi Touch Camouflage Luminex product, and it's one of their highlighting concealers. The shade that I use is 20 Light, and it's liquidy. It comes out in a pen. I guess it just has a really beautiful luminizing quality. It does have some concealing effect, although that part of it is not full coverage, but this is something that I will put on if I want kind of a no makeup look, or if I want more brightening effect. I can put it on top of a concealer that I use for the actual purpose of coverage. So I really like this. I'm gonna keep this. This is a product by Sephora. It is called the Touch or Smoothing and Brightening Concealer. The purpose of it is similar to the Maybelline one that I just showed you, but I don't feel like this one works as well. And you know, I've used a good amount of it, so I'm going to recycle this product. Oh my gosh, this is a Catrice concealer, liquid camouflage high coverage concealer, waterproof. This smells so incredibly strongly. Oops, I got a little bit on there. I'm glad I didn't get it on my carpet. It has such a strong fragrance, and then kind of I don't know if it's an alcohol-y smell, but I do not, especially underneath the eyes, I would not want to put this anywhere near my eyes. I do not enjoy the formula. It's so heavily fragranced. I am going to definitely recycle this. Okay, I have a couple of these from Misha, which is a Korean makeup brand, and they have their own website. I really like these. These are the Under Eye Brightener concealers, and I have them in two different shades, although it's kind of hard to tell the difference. Yeah, I don't remember. One's in light and one is in, I don't know what the other one is in. But anyway, the color doesn't matter so much because they're pretty similar, but these just really look lovely on the skin. They do help brighten the under eye. And I also have a backup that I purchased at some point in this has the natural beige. Natural beige is the other shade, and the other shade is light. So I am going to keep all three of these. Another stick concealer that I'm going to let go of, this is L'Oreal's True Match Super Blendable Crayon Concealer. Just once again, first of all, it's super old. I've used up a good amount of it, but again, it's very dried out too. You can see how long it's been since I've actually used this. So the formula, the integrity of it isn't there anymore, but even if it were, I just don't find that I like this form factor. So Gonna recycle that one. Okay, we have a couple of concealers from Smashbox that I'm pretty sure they do not make anymore, but I really like the formula. These were their Second Skin Long Wear Concealers. I had them in the shade Fair and in the shade Light, which is actually kind of has like more of a peachy undertone to it. So I've used up a good amount of these, and I'm going to continue to use them. Another Smashbox concealer that I wish they made still, but I'm almost sure that they don't. This is the 24-Hour CC Spot Concealer. It's very old. It's in the shade Light. The packaging is pretty grody. Let's see if the inside product still works. Yeah, it does. And what I love about this concealer is this super fine point that it comes with. This makes spot concealing so nice, especially for raised bumps. So I am definitely going to continue to use this and keep it. I know it looks gross, but the formula inside is still good. And at this point, I'm realizing that I'm probably not gonna swatch very many of these. I'm just pretty much going one by one through them. So I have this next product from M Cosmetics. Yes, M Cosmetics does still exist, but it does not exist anymore in this form, which was back when Michelle was working with, I think it was L'Oreal. Now she has rebranded it and it's her brand exclusively. So this version of M Cosmetics does not exist anymore. This is the Great Cover Up Ultimate Concealer. I liked this concealer a lot when I first had it, but it doesn't impress me really that much anymore. And I think a lot of that is, again, I don't get the staying power that I want with it necessarily. So I am ready to pass that on. I don't know what shade this is in. It doesn't have the shade name on the package. Then we have this brightening kind of concealer from Kate Somerville called the Illumicate Concealing Eye Cream in the shade Light. And this, again, my Maybelline one is really the one that I like. First of all, this one's pretty old. I have used it plenty. The consistency of the concealer is kind of not smooth. Maybe you can see, first of all, look at that gross packaging, but it's coming out kind of gloopy, and I just don't find that it sits very nicely on the skin. I use this under the eyes, so I'm going to let this one go too. I have this concealer wheel by Liz Wattier, and it's the the Portfolio Correctors 695. So you get all of these. You not only get your concealers, but you get these correctors. The problem with these is they can get kind of dry on the top, and you can easily correct that. You just have to scrape it off, as I am doing now. So you get your green tone corrector, you get your lavender to kind of combat sallowness or dullness in the skin, and then you get 3 different shades of concealer to be able to kind of match the skin as closely as possible. So actually, maybe, this is a maybe. We're gonna put this in the maybe pile for now. Okay, here's another product that I did like when I first started using it, but I really have fallen out of like with it. This is by this is by First Aid Beauty. It's their Hello Fab Bendy Avocado Concealer. And maybe it's because of the tone. It's in the shade 3, which I don't think, it doesn't match my skin tone very well, especially underneath the eyes. It has a little bit too much peach in it and orange in it. Hopefully you can tell compared to my skin. So I think maybe that's really the driving force, because it is quite a hydrating concealer and it moves really nicely on the skin. It's just that color that I can't, you can't really change the color of the concealer. So I'm gonna either pass this along or recycle it. Okay, Amazing Cosmetics' Amazing Concealer in the shade Light Golden. This, I think this might actually be a mini size, I'm not sure, but this is a super high coverage concealer. It does have a thicker formulation, which actually helps it stick onto the skin, so I'm keeping this. This is a Stay Naked Correcting Concealer from Urban Decay. This is the shade 20 WY. Now this is super pale, so I think that's my only issue with this, is that even at my palest, I'm never this, to my eyes, this looks almost like a white shade. So I'm gonna wait to see if the swatch oxidizes, to see if it's something that I could potentially use under the eyes. The other thing I could use it for is as a brightening concealer for the high planes of the face. So let's put this also in the maybe pile. YSL's Touche Éclat. This is the high coverage one in the shade 0.5. And I do like this one. I like my Maybelline concealer, or the Maybelline luminizing one that I showed you more. But this one is nice too, so I'll go ahead and keep this and continue to use it. Okay, I have two stick concealers that are new and unused. This one is from The Body Shop. It's their concealer pencil in the shade 01. So I'm going to pass this along, and I'm gonna do the same with the Mark Good Riddance Hookup Concealer. I don't know what shade this is in. It's definitely a deeper concealer, but also unused. So gonna pass both of these along to someone who can use them or wants to use them. Okay, we have some more cream concealers. This one is by Face Atelier. This is in 1. This is their Ultra Camouflage Duet. So this is the light duet. So unlike the Liz Wautier one, even when you kind of work, I mean, the thing with this is that it definitely has a thicker, less kind of easily worked consistency. Now, there's a give and a take on that because this means that it has really great staying power. And there you can see the swatches up close. So you have your more kind of pinky toned, so you can color correct with that, and then your more regular skin toned, which is really nice. Practically speaking, am I gonna use something with this thicker consistency? I might, because, you know, I keep complaining that I have concealers that don't really stick to where I put them. So let's put this in the maybe pile too. May as well finish up our potted cream concealer type products. This one is from, what is this company called? 3 Custom Color Specialists. Again, not a super popular company, but they have some really unique and interesting products. And I feel like they take the time to formulate them really well. So this is called their Cream Concealer 5. I don't know if that's the shade that I have, 5, but it looks like this. Ooh, this has a weird, is this how the texture is supposed to be? It's super, super, super creamy. For a cream, it's very workable and pliable. So actually that might actually be even a lovely foundation too. I mean, with a lot of concealers, you can probably use them as foundations. So let's put this in the maybe pile too. Okay, we have a relatively new product. I have used this, I think, but for some reason I kept it in the packaging still. This is from Gorgeous Cosmetics. This is their Conceal It Cream Concealer in the shade Medium Neutral. So it looks like this. Let's see if the shade matches me still. Ooh, what happened? This is, oh, I guess once you tap it in, out of the tube, this is like quite a thick consistency, but it actually works really nicely over the skin. Yeah, I actually really like that texture and color, so I think I'll keep this one. We have Maybelline's, I think this is the Fit Me concealer in the shade 10 Light. I know a lot of people love this formula, and it is very nice. I don't know. I feel like I've used this for a long time, and I don't feel like I'm particularly wowed by it. Let's put it in the maybe pile. We have another stick. I think this is our last stick concealer. This one is by Revlon. This is the Photo Ready Concealer. I have the shade 002 Light. And a lot of people, like Emily Noel, I think, like this concealer also because although it's a stick concealer, it seems to work quite nicely underneath the eyes. But again, I don't know. Let's put this in the maybe pile. Another concealer that I used to really love that I feel like I'm not, for whatever reason, not as impressed by anymore. This is Kat Von D's Lock-It Tattoo Concealer. Got this long time ago. Kat Von D is, I know that they've changed in terms of her involvement in the brand, but I don't know that I'll ever really go back to purchasing Kat Von D products. This is in the shade Light 18, and you know, being a tattoo concealer, it's said to be extremely high coverage, which it is. It's good coverage. It does kind of have a smell to it though, actually. I wonder if that's a fragrance that's added in here. Maybe that's sufficient reason enough for me to say goodbye to this and let go of it. Well, I don't know. We'll put it in the maybe pile. This is more difficult than I thought it would be. Okay, we have this Ulma Beauty Stay Woke Concealer. I have the shade White Pearl 12, and it has a number 2 on the front there. I don't know if that means anything. I know that they divide their things into different color families. I remember really liking this product, so I'm going to keep this. We've got 2 relatively new concealers. I don't even know if I must have used this at least once. This is by Lancome. This is their Maquis Complete concealer in the shade 220 Buff, or Light Buff, it says in parentheses. So I'm gonna keep this because it is newer. And I think same with this one. This is by Givenchy. This is their Teint Couture Eyewear Concealer in the shade 16. And it looks like this. Let me see if this color this is actually kind of a deeper shade for me, but it smells fine, so I'm gonna also keep this. I wanna make sure this doesn't have alcohol in it. So does this, yeah, let's look at the ingredients here. Okay, it doesn't have alcohol in it, so I would feel comfortable using this under my eyes. We have this Revlon concealer from the Candid, or the Photo Ready Candid range. It's called the Antioxidant Concealer. I have the shade 001. Comes with a squeeze tube and a doe foot applicator. This is very yellow toned, which I find pretty interesting. So I don't actually know. I mean, I have yellow tones, undertones in my skin, but this is kind of more like on the nose yellow in color. Let me compare it to these 2 other concealers I have from Revlon from the Color Stay line. The darker shade that I have on top here is 03 Light Medium, and then the paler shade, which I usually use under the eyes instead of the face, is 02 Light. So here's 03 and here is 02. So you can tell right away how yellow this concealer is, and I'm not sure why that is. I mean, I guess some people are extremely yellow undertoned, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not that yellow undertoned, so although I do like this formula and I really love the Candid foundations that they've come out with, I just don't think this tone will be appropriate for me. And then these 2 that I swatched next to that yellow toned concealer, I've actually been using these in the past few months on a pretty much daily basis. I like the formula. I think I would prefer something with a longer staying power and more staying power, especially on the face. So I'm gonna put this also in the maybe pile. And the last one in terms of non-powder concealers that we have, this is from First Aid Beauty, their Eye Duty Triple Remedy in the shade Fair Medium. And this one it has like a cooling metal surface to it that you can rub along the eyes. And then the other side is more of like a corrector. You can see hopefully how peachy toned it is. So, and it has a brightening effect too. So this one is kind of like a mix. It's not a true straightforward concealer. It's almost like a mix of a treatment and skincare and a brightener. So I want to keep experimenting with this. I do remember when I initially tested it, I liked it. So I want to keep it around and continue practicing with it basically. All right, let's go back to our maybe concealers, the 2 of which we already swatched from the Revlon Color Stay line. I guess my easiest decision is going to be for the Liz Watier color wheel, because it will give me the options to color correct with cream products that will actually stick to the skin. And so I like the formula. I'm gonna keep this. I forgot to leave on that swatch of this Naked concealer, so I'm gonna put that over here real quick, and hopefully I don't forget again, because I want to see if it oxidizes enough for me to keep it around, because it's so super pale. Then we have the Maybelline Fit Me one. Yeah, I'm gonna let go of this. It's just not special enough, or, you know, the quality is not better enough compared to the other ones that I'm keeping for me to continue keeping it around. I have my 2 potted concealer ones here. I'm just trying to think, practically speaking, am I going to dip into these to use them in the future? This one is the feeling is so waxy, even though, I mean, it does have that good staying power because of that. But I just don't think I'm going to bring myself to use this consistently, so I'm gonna let go of the Face Atelier one, and I'll keep the 3 custom colors one. It's a very good match for my skin color, and that very smooth cream formula I think is pretty pleasant on the skin. I appreciate the formula for the Kat Von D one, but I'm gonna let it go. You know, I'm not keeping, I don't think, any other stick concealers, so because this one somehow maintains itself as something super creamy and not drying, but in a stick form, I'm gonna hold on to it. And then actually, I think what I'm gonna do for these 2 Revlon ones is I'm gonna move this to my filming station and use them for filming purposes, because usually when I do that and I do a makeup look, unless I'm doing a makeup look that I plan to wear for the rest of the day, I'm not as interested in something being super long wearing. So I do like this formula, and since I can utilize them for the purpose of a look that I may only have on for 4 to 5 hours, if I'm just doing it for that video specifically, then that's a good use of these. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep these for that purpose. And this definitely is not oxidizing, so I'm gonna pass this along to someone who's fairer, paler than I am, so that they can use this Urban Decay one. All right, now, if you saw my blush, my powder blush video, you could see that I had a bunch of loose powder blushes from the brand Everyday Minerals. They are still around, they do exist, and they're making makeup still, and I used to buy so much loose powder products from them, so many, but now I have all of these potted loose powder concealers, and I really don't reach for that kind of thing very much, so I really don't need to hold on to these. So let's go through them and see if there's anything that I would, for some reason, particularly want to hold on to. First, I know right away this medium tan shade. What is this? These are all, oh, these are sample sizes, I guess. Well, some of them are, at least. This is the semi-matte base, so this is actually supposed to be a foundation, but it doesn't match my skin tone at all, so I'm going to remove this from my collection. Medium beige. I don't think I need to go through these all individually with you, so I'll do this quickly, speed the video up, and then just show you at the end what I'm going to keep and what I'm not going to. Okay, so most of these are actually foundation samples, but I kept them in this category because I would use them potentially as concealers, but I'm gonna get rid of most of them. I'm only gonna keep 3 of them. One is the shade Sunlight. It's actually a concealer. It's a concealer sample, but it has the slight yellow tone to it. It's not super obvious in tone, and it's something that I can actually use to dust the under eyes and set concealer and brighten that area. So I'm gonna keep it for that purpose. Then I have Multitasking and Multi-Intensive. These are also both concealers, and I can also use this to set spot concealing on the face. So I will keep those for that purpose. All right, this is what I am going to let go of. Obviously, a bunch of these are from those sample-sized things from Everyday Minerals and Youngblood Cosmetics. So let's go ahead and count, see what we're letting go of. Okay, we're letting go of 41 total concealers. Leaves us 74 minus 41 is 33 concealers that I am keeping. Now, again, pretty much half of those are from these powder products. So, you know, that kind of only half counts. Let's see how many of these more traditional concealers I'm letting go of. 16 of them. So I'm still happy with that. Definitely have downsized in terms of how many concealers I'm holding on to, so I am very happy with that. So with 33 concealers remaining, I can go forth and organize those into one spot. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. Please leave any comments and thoughts that you have in the comment section below. I have had multiple requests to, after I'm done with individual decluttering videos, to do a what's left in my collection kind of video, which I do plan to do. So just stay tuned for that if you're wanting to see what I actually kept at the end of the day. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.